Hello everyone and welcome to our ICBA Season 4 Finals against the Lawrence Talonflames, coached by Garchomp the God. And if you have not seen their content, absolutely go check him out. Austin's a great dude. We're pretty good friends. We've recently become much friendlier. He's the one running the PCL, which I'm currently in now, as well as we faced off in the first week of the IBL. But we have both earned our spot here. And in a field of 16 players, we have narrowed it down to 2. It is either me or it is either him. We are going to find out right now who it's going to be. Now, what team are we facing in this final match of the ICBA season? Tapu Lele, Hawlucha Victini, Umbreon Mega Venusaur, Registeel Raikou, Donphan, Quagsire, Rotom Fan, and Gabite, with Tapu Lele, Registeel, and Rotom Fan being potential Z users. Now, what do I see right off the bat? There is a sizable ice weakness, but I don't think he's going to bring the mons that have that ice weakness in this matchup. Gabite, Rotom Fan, they don't make a lot of sense. Obviously, Mega Venusaur didn't count in that ice weakness per se, but Hawlucha might come, and Donphan could come. But Donphan is better hit with other types of moves, stab moves, since I don't have an ice type on this team. Other things I'm going to see here. Psychic Seed Hawlucha is what's got him to the finals. Unburdened Psychic Seed Hawlucha is what has gotten him here. We do have a counter terrain. Tapu Fini, as you see on your screen, will be coming this week to help counter that Tapu Lele's terrain. We do have the option of running that. And I think that is going to be helpful, although if he does just double from Lele into Hawlucha, he's guaranteed to get it up. Hawlucha doesn't threaten my Tapu Fini that much, but I did take off Moonblast and Ice Beam from the coverage on this Fini in order to fit the other moves. A lot of my Pokemon hit 4 move slot syndrome this week, and that is going to become a very interesting thing. I think this game, more than any other game, is going to be determined by information. How much information do I get versus how much does he get, how much is given, how much is taken. Mega Venusaur could be run physically, it could be run specially. Absolutely terrifying mon. Earthquake knockoff, Sludge Bomb is a scary set that has good coverage for most of my team, if you're not counting a couple of threats on my team, but then you put Giga Drain on it if you want to. Obviously, I think he's going to run Synthesis. I think he has to. Otherwise, that thing's going to get worn down much too quickly, but that's the way this is looking. So, what are we running to counter his absolutely horrifying team, which has great speed tiers? It has great options for offense, defense. It deserves to be here in the finals, I think. I think it's a great team. It's a team I would draft, personally. Maybe not 3 ground types, but otherwise, yeah. Pretty solid team that we're facing off against. So, as you can see, the team that we're bringing against him this week starts off with Tapu Fini. A possible lead of mine. Taunt for the Mega Venusaur. Potential lead means he can't Leech Seed. It can taunt the Donphan if it leads to make sure he can't get up Stealth Rocks. Registeel can be taunted as well to make sure he can't get up Rocks, because otherwise it's pretty free. Other things, Quagsire could be potentially taunted as well, depending on what I think he's going to want to go for. Nature's Madness, 50% to something. Mega Venusaur is a free switch into this thing every time if I don't run it, so Nature's Madness is there so that he takes 50%, forces him to Synthesis, which is a great thing for me to have to force it, because I can just taunt, potentially, if I think he's going to Synthesis right away. If I think he's going to Sludge Bomb, I can switch out. Stuff like that. So, Surf is great coverage for the Victini. Surf hits the Donphan. So I liked being able to hit those 2 options, because those are 2 things that this Fini is supposed to be able to check. And then Shadow Ball hits the Tapu Lele, which is something that is absolutely terrifying otherwise. And honestly, just hits most of his team neutrally, and I don't mind that as coverage. And so I did like putting the Shadow Ball on there over the Ice Beam because of the fact that I can hit Tapu Lele, which this thing does switch in on almost every time. It is Calm Nature with a ton of special investment. Yes, Lele could bring Psyshock, and I do have to worry about that because it will do a decent chunk of damage, but this has a lot of special investment and a decent amount of physical investment as well to make sure that I'm taking hits from the Lele as best as I can. Next up, we have Chandelure. Chandelure is going to be rocking Psychic Seed this week. Bold Nature, Energy Ball, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Taunt with Flash Fire and no Fire-type move as a switch into Victini almost every time. Bolt Strike, if it's not banded Victini, is a 3-hit KO. Straight up. If I see it's a 2-hit KO, I know he's banded Victini and I can play around that. And V-Create, can't hit me. Flash Fire. U-Turn, nothing. Quad resisted. Zen Headbutt, that'll do a decent amount, but I am Bold Nature with a decent amount of defensive investment and HP investment, so that's great. Psychic Seed, allows any non-specs Tapu Lele to be a 3-KO with Shadow Ball, which is the tempting move to click. Still 2-KO with Psychic if he decides to go with that route, but it allows me to hit Shadow Ball, and if he's not defensively invested, that is a potential 1-hit KO, and after Rocks is a guaranteed 1-hit KO. So Shadow Ball, great thing there. If he sets up the Psychic terrain, I have Psychic. If he wants to go into something like Mega Venusaur, Hawlucha, Donphan even doesn't really want to take a Psychic terrain boosted Psychic plus an Energy Ball after that. And I do have the Taunt in case he does have the Donphan, the Registeel, something like that wants to switch into me, which aren't great switches into me, but they do exist. Umbreon's a pretty solid switch that I can taunt and stop it from doing whatever it wants to do outside of clicking Foul Play, which, as you can see, I have little to no physical investment, so I'm not worried about that at all. Taunt can stop potentially the Hawlucha from setting up Swords Dances if I think that that's the route he's going to try to go. Things like that. Although him setting up on my Chandelure would be really surprising, and I'd probably just click Psychic in that event anyway. But we do have enough speed to outspeed an uninvested Mega Venusaur, as well as a guaranteed outspeed of Donphan and Registeel. I don't know why he would run max speed on those, but I do outspeed them if they are running maximum speed investment. So that is something to think about. Following Chandelure, we have Mega Gallade coming this week. Mega Gallade going to be running a Jolly Nature with enough speed to outspeed everything it would naturally outspeed, so up to Victini at base 100, and otherwise everything's an attack and a little bit of HP investment as I was given because I didn't have to go max speed. Shadow Sneak, Destiny Bond, Psycho Cut, Earthquake this week. Destiny Bond was a last-second retech. I switched between Knockoff, Ice Punch, Leaf Blade. I thought about Thunder Wave. I thought about all sorts of moves in that slot. I never clicked any of them in any mock, and I didn't really think that any of them were going to provide me with a benefit that Destiny Bond didn't. Destiny Bond giving me that 1-for-1, which is amazing. If he's not Scarf Lele, which I find out, then I can Destiny Bond that. Victini gets outsped if he's not Scarf Victini, and I can Destiny Bond that. Those are two huge threats that I can just remove very easily just by clicking Destiny Bond. And if it comes in on the, if something like the Hawlucha comes in and I've clicked Destiny Bond, he can't attack me, then I get the ability to click Psycho Cut for free. And then yes, he might kill me the next turn, but I break a sub, I keep him from doing whatever he wants to do. Shadow Sneak is there because Hawlucha is not affected by Psychic Terrain. It's almost exclusively there for that one purpose. Everything else I'd rather click another move on. Raikou outside of Psychic Terrain, it might be useful, but Hawlucha is the only thing that I care about. And getting that thing outside of Psychic Terrain, or even in Psychic Terrain, Shadow Sneak can chip off any last damage, and that is really important to me because I need to make sure that Hawlucha goes down, and I think this Gallade has a chance to make that happen. This is a potential switch-in occasionally to Mega Venusaur, but it's not a perfect one. It doesn't love eating a Sludge Bomb, especially if Misty Terrain's not up. It really doesn't want to take a Poison, so I do have to watch out for that. But I do have the opportunity to get some Psycho Cuts off on a Mega Venusaur, which if he's not bold, then we'll be doing about 50%. If he is bold, then he's not specially defensive, and that means or Chandelure can do a lot more damage with Psychic. Additionally, if Psychic Terrain is up, Mega Venusaur really doesn't want to take any Psychic type attack, so I'm going to try to take advantage of his Psychic Terrain as well, since he has to bring the Lele and Hawlucha Core against me. If he doesn't, I will be thrilled, honestly, because those are terrifying to my entire team. Following that, we have Choice Scarf Jirachi. It is max speed, max attack, and Jolly Nature so that it speed ties with Victini. That's pretty much the only thing. It also outspeeds Scarf Lele. Ironhead, not free at all since Victini is the most probable switch-in, but this is pretty free to switch into most Leles that aren't going for Shadow Ball. If they're not, and even if they are, I can take one Shadow Ball, and I can set up my Stealth Rocks if I'm at full health, or into Finny if I think he's not going to go Bolt Strike for, if I think he's going to go with a V-Create, I can go into either Chandelure or Finny. And Stealth Rocks, for me, really helpful. I can U-turn occasionally to make sure that I gain that momentum, and then late game, it's either, depending on how his team has worked out, Ironhead or Heart Stamp, and try to take game that way. Heart Stamp in Psychic Terrain is going to do a decent amount of damage to anything, and Ironhead Oko's a Tapu Lele, which is amazing and absolutely great. And if he doesn't bring Victini, Ironhead, yes, he's got Quagsire, Registeel, Raikou, Rotom Fan, which I'll resist, but still, Ironhead has a 60% flinch chance. Heart Stamp has a 60% flinch chance, so even if it comes down to that, I will play every out that I have this game. If there's one game where I need a Jirachi to actually do Jirachi things, it might be this one. Next up we have Ranulf, the Landorus Therian form, who has come to most matches this week. I believe Mega Gallade came to every single one. Landorus has come to almost all, maybe missed one in there somewhere. And it is going to be Adamant Nature with very little speed investment, just enough speed to outspeed a Mega Venusaur, and kind of make sure that he don't get speed crept by a Rotom fan or something like that. But honestly, very little speed this week. Defog, Fly, Earthquake, and U-Turn with Flyinium Z. Honestly, this thing can switch into Mega Venusaur. If it doesn't take a poison from Sludge Bomb, that's perfect. Otherwise, if it does, whatever. And click Z-Fly the first time it comes in on almost whatever team comp he brings. It does over 50% to pretty much any Donphan set. Even max defensive, Impish Nature would take over 50% from a Z-Fly. Oko's pretty much everything else that isn't Umbreon. And if Umbreon or Donphan comes in, I can just U-turn out, or Earthquake, depending on where they're at. I can take a Ice Shard from a Donphan if I'm not too chipped down from, let's say, Poison and Sludge Bomb damage and whatever. If I just take a Sludge Bomb and then no Poison, I can Earthquake on a Donphan and take an Ice Shard and be fine. If I'm Poisoned, then I probably can U-turn, get out of there, and come back in and Intimidate later. Since this is a check to Mega Venusaur, as well as having the Fly later on, can be used on things that I'm predicting a switch, like the Mega Venusaur. Click Fly, get damage off on something when it comes in, if it is faster than me, like the Victini, or the Raikou or something like that, which is amazing because they would have to then do an attack or switch out, and then I can get my Fly damage off and then switch out myself, which is why I really don't want to be poisoned, but there's not much I can do about it if I do get poisoned, and I do get poisoned by Sludge Bomb more than my fair share of times. Lastly, we have Nefany the Jolteon coming this week. This is my Hawlucha check. Why? I don't know. Because I can. I think it's the finals and I need to do something. So I've never run Speed Pass in any team in my entire life before. And here we are running Agility, Baton Pass, Protect, and Thunderbolt. Since even at +2, even if he gets a Swords Dance up, he cannot Oko me with our Acrobatics Hawlucha. He needs to click High Jump Kick. He could theoretically click Drain Punch if he has it, but he needs to click a non-flying type move. Protect gives me 50% on the Hawlucha, and Thunderbolt kills from there with my Focus Sash. And that is how I'm going to run this thing. It never comes in unless the situation is so dire that I need to Speed Pass into something. But since it's the only thing on my team that's going to outspeed Hawlucha naturally, even after an Agility, if it gets an Unburden up, the Hawlucha's still going to outspeed my stuff. Then I need to make sure that if I'm Speed Passing with this, it's either going to maintain its Sash, or it's going to be game ending, however I want to do it. Because the other option being, if he leads with if his Hawlucha comes in and I bring this in and I've got my Focus Sash still intact, I can click Agility. He can click High Jump Kick, but I'd rather click Protect, then click Agility on his High Jump Kick, then click Thunderbolt when I outspeed him. But that is the team this week. That is what we're going to be rocking. This is what team is going to be facing off against Garchomp the God in the finals. If you guys are excited, I don't ask for likes very much, but I'm super hyped for this, so definitely make sure you click that like button and tell me who you think is going to be the MVP of this battle, whether it's one of my Pokemon or one of his Pokemon. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment. I'm just super hyped for this, guys. It's about to go down. I always record these like minutes before I record the battle, so I'm super pumped. Let's get ready to throw down with Austin. Good luck to my opponent. I always try to say that. Make sure you check out his channel. Link is in the description below, and I will see you guys back here in a moment with that battle. All right, everyone, here we are. I don't usually let you guys see it on this, but let the battle begin. You guys can see what I am expecting him to bring. It is the Donphan, Venusaur, Raikou, Hawlucha, Lele, and Victini on my side. To counter that, if you didn't watch Team Builder, please do. This might be the most important Team Builder you ever watch. Gallade, Jirachi, Landorus, Tapu Fini, Jolteon, and Chandelure. Other things, I could see him bringing the Quagsire. If he brings Rotom Fan, I have to assume that that thing's probably going to be Scarfed. Registeel is an option. It does give him a decently free rocker at some point during the game, but it is weak to most of my Pokemon between Landorus, Gallade, Chandelure, so I have a lot of coverage for it. But if you think I'm going to bring Webs, it could be a thing that he decides to bring. Webs are okay against his team, but honestly, I think the 6 Pokemon we've got are going to be the best 6 Pokemon that we've got to face this, and if not, then, well, these are the 6 Pokemon we brought at bare minimum, so that's what we're going to be working with. He is done. We are communicating, and we are going to get started. Good luck to my opponent. Here is team preview. It is the Rotom Fan. No Mega Venusaur. Oh, okay. Okay. So no Mega Venusaur. Interesting. But he does have the Lele Lucha stuff. And Rotom Fan could be Z. I see Lele being a possible scarf, or Victini's possibly scarfed as well. Lele Lucha is obviously going to be running Lele Lucha-y things. Donphan's a possible lead. Rotom Fan's a possible lead, although I don't necessarily think that's going to be his lead. But if he does decide to go with the Rotom Fan lead, I can go out into Landorus or Jolteon. I think Finny is going to be my best counter lead for this team, since Raikou could lead. I don't see Raikou leading, if we're being perfectly honest. And if Raikou leads, I might just have to go into my Jirachi if I lead with my Finny. If I lead Chandelure, what do I gain? Not a lot. I don't think that's my best play. I could lead Lando, but I don't necessarily see that being better either. So I'm going to lead with Finny. If he does lead Donphan to get rocks up, I can taunt freely. And if he leads Victini, then I'm in a pretty good position to click Nature's Madness on anything on his team. And if he leads with... I don't know, if he leads with Lele, then I get my Misty Terrain because I will outslow the Lele. So we've got options there. The real issues are the electric types, obviously. But I do have the Jolteon in the back, which he would probably think would be coming in there. It will not be coming in there. I need that thing to be able to handle Hawlucha late game, and I can't just switch it in on an Air Slash or something like that. Even if a Volt Switch is very predictable, Landers is a better mon to take that if that is how it goes. So he does lead with the Rotom Fan. Okay. And we are underway. So we've got our Finny in here. He could be Electrium Z. Electrium Z Thunder has a chance to take me out. If it's not Electrium Z, then he doesn't kill. I could go into Jirachi here, but I don't think he's going to be Electrium Z because of the fact that I have Landorus and Jolteon. That's a huge risk. Jirachi can take any hit from this thing, and then pretty much set up rocks after that. If he does go Volt Switch, then that is okay. I could go Landorus if I think he's going to go Volt Switch, but I think he might Hidden Power Ice, predicting my Landorus or my Jolteon to cover both options. Although then it doesn't touch me with my Tapu Fini right now. Volt Switch is probably his freest play, though, which is why I think Landorus is my best play. But I am going to go with Jirachi here and try to set up my rocks. And I did accidentally move my HP bar thing, so we're going to try to put that back where it started. And there's the Thunderbolt, so let's kind of try to scout what item you are. That's a crit, so we don't get a ton of information. He does crit me, of course. First turn crits. So potentially, and that crit means that I am in a range for another attack. It's a low chance he takes me out with another Thunderbolt. Getting my rocks up could be game-changing, though, but not so game-changing that I don't think U-turn's a better play. I don't know what item he is. I would love to know if he's Scarfed or not. I think U-turn is going to be my best play here. He's probably going to go into Victini regardless of what I do. So I'm going to click U-turn. That crit sucks. He can't paralyze me, thankfully, but he is probably max special attack. And of course, I do get crit first turn in the finals, but that's okay. I could have gone Lando. It's a risk that I was willing to take, that the Rotom was going to be able to do that. And you know, I didn't go Jolteon. I didn't go Lando, where I definitely could have. He does stay in. Not unsurprising. I do need to fix the HP bar still. It's still off for some reason. I think that's right. Yeah, okay. So I could go Lando at this point. And I think that is going to be my only play option at this point, since he's probably just clicking Thunderbolt again. And I mean, if he goes HP Ice, that's a great play. That's just a good prediction on his part. And I'm on the back foot because of the crit. If I didn't get crit, I would have set up my Stealth Rocks right there, 100%. There's a T-Bolt. Again, so if he switches out, I have to assume that he's probably Scarfed. And if he's not Scarfed, then he probably thinks that I'm going to outspeed him. Flying EMZ is an option, but I don't think it's the best click right now. I think I'm just going to click U-turn. He's probably going to go Donphan. He could go Raikou. So that's a real risk and a half there. But I'm going to click U-turn. We'll see what happens. If he's not Scarfed and he does stay in, he's not Scarfed and he does stay in. So we click U-turn again, and now we go, now what? Okay. So he's just staying in with this thing. So I have to make some sort of play to actually kill this thing that's in front of me. Kill what's in front of you. Jolteon's an option. I think he's going to break my Sash, though, and that would be really, really bad. So he's definitely not Scarfed. He's actually no speed investment, which is really interesting. Which means that my Chandelure will potentially outspeed this. Since I have... Or he's not no speed investment, but he's not a lot of speed investment, because my Landorus isn't very much speed investment. And Chandelure could potentially outspeed this, but then I lose my Victini check with that. But I do have the Tapu Fini still. But I think he's going to go probably HP Ice. At this point, I don't want Jirachi taking any more damage if it doesn't have to. So I am going to go out into my Chandelure. And if he does go HP Ice, then we're good. And I wasn't going to let my Landers take that HP Ice. There's no way. I'm still trying to react to that crit first turn, of course. Will-O-Wisp, well, you just gave me Flash Fire, so I'm fine with that. And you can't Will-O-Wisp anything that was on the ground anyway, so any switch out there was going to be good for me. That's fine. I don't have a Fire-type move, but so I have Flash Fire but no Fire move, which is amazing. It's totally cool. Don't worry about it. But I think the best play is going to be click Shadow Ball here. If he goes Thunderbolt, he doesn't 2-hit KO me, or he might 2-hit KO me, depending on the rolls. But it's not a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Still can't parry me for this turn. And yeah, so it's a solid chance to 2-hit KO, but it doesn't, and I should. We'll see if I outspeed him. I do have enough investment to outspeed an uninvested Rotom fan, which I don't know if this is completely uninvested. At some point, he's going to have to switch out. He doesn't switch out. I do outspeed him, which is great. And we can see if he's Electrium. If he is, he'd go for it at this point, but he goes for the Thunderbolt here. And doesn't hit the roll to 2-hit KO me, which is amazing. I mean, he could, but that's a low roll. So Shadow Ball's free. 100% free. Nothing wants to come in on it, so yeah, we'll just click it, take out the Rotom, and be up a Mon, but down in HP by a lot. This Rotom did a lot of work for him in the early game. But the things that are healthy are the things that I need to be healthy, and the Jirachi's HP is significant in that it is now in range of Halucha's high jump kick, which isn't great, but otherwise, whoops, I'm just clicking buttons. Yeah, it is in range of Halucha's high jump kick, which it wouldn't have been without a crit potentially, which is great. You love to see that. So we are going to take out the Rotom fan. We don't know what item he was going to be running, but Chandelure kills Rotom fan with Shadow Ball, and we're not getting 6-0 in the finals. Whatever happens from here on out, we didn't get 6-0 in the finals. Now, he could think I'm Scarfed, because I did outspeed him, and depending on what he's got, Scarf Chandelure is a real problem for his team. If he goes Donphan, he's probably going to try to set up Rocks, which is either a chance for me to click Taunt, or I probably have to click Taunt on the Donphan just so he doesn't set up Rocks, because I don't want Rocks on my side of the field at all. And it's more important for me not to have Rocks than for me to have Chandelure, since I can go out into Fini on the Donphan after that, and threaten it out from there. And if he does go for Stealth Rocks, then I could switch out into the Fini for free. Well, not for free, but without too much lost. And JB is the Raikou. So either he's Scarfed, he doesn't think I'm Scarfed, or he doesn't care that I'm Scarfed if I am Scarfed, since Thunderbolt will take me out from this range if he is max special attack, and Shadow Ball does not take him out. It breaks a sub, but that's about it. Now this thing probably has Hidden Power Ice. There's almost no way it doesn't. It probably also has Shadow Ball. It could be Specs with Shadow Ball. He could be clicking Shadow Ball here. Shadow Ball does not have a Q in it. If he's got Shadow Ball, he's going to click it. And I kind of have to know, and I don't want to necessarily lose my Chandelure because Victini is still a threat, and I still can take a Bolt Strike from this range. But the only thing that can maybe take a Shadow Ball decently, and not if it's Specs, is Landorus, and I don't want that thing getting damaged. The other thing is Fini, but if he's not Specs, then I just kind of... Fini just takes damage completely unnecessarily, and I can't just keep switching with nothing gained out of it. And if he is Specs, then he probably can click Thunderbolt here. Although he's likely to click Shadow Ball either way. Shadow Ball's only doing 25% to Finny, but if he's not Specs, then he just goes for Thunderbolt the turn after that. Yeah, I'm going to stay in. I'm going to let Chandelure go down at this point, and I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball. And he goes for the Calm Mind. That's interesting. Okay, Calm Mind Raikou's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. And we're going to see him get +1 special defense, +1 special attack, so it's basically free specs here. And we do a lot of damage. That's a good chunk of damage right there. He could go for another Calm Mind. I kind of want more chip on this thing, since Gallade can take a +1 Shadow Ball from this, or a +1 Thunderbolt, which is a good thing for Gallade to come in on. Raikou at +1 with Shadow Ball. Yeah, so Gallade takes 1 guaranteed, even if he's modest, right? If he's modest Life Orb, then we're in some trouble. But other than that, and I'll know he's Life Orb if he gets a Life Orb hit here. So I'm going to go for another Shadow Ball here. And if he goes for another Calm Mind, I do have the Shadow Sneak on Gallade. And it does about 20% if he's not physically defensively invested. And I do have a Scarf Rachi, which can Heart Stamp on this thing as well, which may be my play after this. Death Drop? No? Okay. So what is Rachi doing to you? 33 to 40? Okay. So yeah, I kind of have to go Rachi, sack it. It's already taken so much damage anyway. I have to let Chandelure go down here. Or I have to let something go down. And it might as well be Chandelure at this point. And then Rachi can Heart Stamp, and if I get the flinch, great. And if I don't, then, you know, it happens. That's my life. There's the T-Bolt. Definitely wasn't trying to predict a T-Bolt right there. So Raikou has Calm Mind and Thunderbolt. And Raikou kills Chandelure with Thunderbolt. So I have the Rachi here. If I get the flinch, then Raikou goes down. And if I don't, then Jirachi goes down, and Gallade can Shadow Sneak and take out the Raikou. And as long as I keep other stuff healthy, I should be okay. Finny can handle the Teeny if it needs to. Gallade has Shadow Sneak as needed. And if he does switch out, like if I do go into my Gallade after this and it Shadow Sneaks and he goes into his Lele, that's, you know, it is what it is. There's the flinch. Okay, great. So we get that flinch. We can go for another Heart Stamp. He could go out into Victini. I did lose my Chandelure, but I didn't lose my Electric Answer, so I can go into my Finny and be okay. Scarf Rachi, getting that flinch, and potentially just taking out this Raikou. 60% flinch. We got it. If I kill him, he's going to go Victini, and I would love to have my Chandelure for that, but I don't, so the only options are either Landorus, which would have to take a potentially Banded V-Create, or my Finny, which I would rather risk a Bolt Strike. So there is the rollout. That is the Donphan, 100% Donphan, and he's going to go for Rocks here, which is really unfortunate because it does break my Sash on my Jolteon, which makes the late game much tougher, and I don't have Defog this week. Oh, I do have Defog in Lando, which is actually a pretty safe switch into this thing. He's got Leftovers on the Donphan. Okay. And so I can defog later. I could go Finny here. This thing doesn't really threaten Finny too much, and he could get his rocks up, but I do have Lando with defog for later in the game, so that's fine. So I am going to go out. I think Finny's the best play here. It's better than Lando, honestly, just because Ice Shard is a thing. He's not banded or anything, but it's still a thing that I definitely should watch out for. So we are going to go Finny and go get that Misty Surge up. So if he does go for, I don't know, a Toxic, but there's the rocks. Sort of wish I'd had Defog as a taunt on the Finny instead of the Lando, but he's going to think I have Defog on this thing because the way I brought it in. I don't. He could knock off here. He's probably going to switch out, in all honesty. I don't know what his switch into me is right now. Surf is a good play because Raikou can't come in on the Surf, whereas it can come in on a Nature's Madness, technically, and then do a lot of damage. Shadow Ball is a pretty free play, but I think Surf is a better play, honestly. What is Surf versus... Like, does Surf do 50%? Because he's not Assault Vested, Donphan. He's definitely leftovers, we've seen it. We don't know his spread at all. But Surf's doing a little bit more than Nature's Madness. So I am going to click Surf. And if he goes Raikou, then that dies. If he goes Victini, then that's not a safe switch. And if he stays in, then it takes 50%. He could knock off. I don't know what else he would do. That's not specially defensive, so that's good. So there's the knockoff. And it is what it is. I lose my leftovers. But I do get another free opportunity to Surf here. His Lele could come in. That's about it that can switch in on this Surf. And Lele doesn't really threaten my Finny either. Psychic Terrain's scary, but it's not the end of the world. I could Shadow Ball. What are we doing with a Shadow Ball since we know that he's not specially defensive? He's physically defensive, Donphan, because of how much Surf did. Shadow Ball does 22 to 26. That is not worth the roll. We are just going to click Surf again and try to take out the Donphan. And we do, so Donphan is out, and we can defog later with Lando. So Tapu Fini kills Donphan with Surf. And what is your switch in here? Lele? If he goes for the Lele Lucha strats, then my only play is to go Jirachi on what is likely not a Shadow Ball, and eventually Lando to... JB is the Raikou. Okay. Okay. So you can't kill me with a Thunderbolt, but you can definitely chip me down. But I'm not so worried about that at this moment. At this moment, I'm not worried. Since I know you're not Specs. If you're Modest, max special attack. We didn't see a Life Orb when you hit my... You could be Expert Belt. Let's just say you're Expert Belt. Let's say you're Expert Belt Modest. Still doesn't kill from here. Maxed out at 144. And Surf or Shadow Ball, whichever I want. And I think Shadow Ball's better, just because it covers everything that switches in on this better. So I'm going to click Shadow Ball here. And if he goes straight for the Thunderbolt, if he's Expert Belt, that's fine. We take it. And he doesn't look like he's Expert Belt, but he's dead anyway. But he's chipped me down again. And this is, again, I know it's what his strategy is. So Tapu Fini kills Raikou with Shadow Ball. And I can tell what his strategy is here. He's going to make sure that his Lele can take out my Finny so that his Hawlucha can win the game. And it is potentially going to work. Now he could go hard Hawlucha here. Psychic's gonna kill me. I have no switch into Psychic right now. Does Gallade take one Psychic? Yeah, but it doesn't take a Moonblast. I could go Jirachi. He could Shadow Ball, though. I don't want to sack Jirachi. I'd rather sack Finny here, since I don't have Defog on it. And if he starts setting up Calm Minds, that's worst case scenario. So I'm going to click Nature's Madness. And if he starts setting up Calm Minds, I still have my Jirachi, though. So Moonblast comes out. So he's probably Scarfed. And that does take me out. So Tapu Lele kills Tapu Fini with Moonblast. Now I do have my Jirachi, which is safe here, to come in if I want it to. I can also Landorus and Defog, since I do take one hit from this. I do take one hit from this. I can also Flanium Z with my Lando. I'm going to go Rachi here. Victini comes in 100% of the time if I do that. Do I care if Victini comes in? Yes, because I lost both of my Victini checks. If it's Scarf Victini, then my only answer is Landorus at that point. Which can't click Earthquake safely, but it could click Flanium Z. And cover the Hawlucha switch in. So I think I have to Jirachi, and then I have to U-turn. into Lando. And if he doesn't switch out, then I U-turn into Gallade, I think. Although if it's not Scarf Victini, then Gallade does outspeed it. But V-Create can Oko a Mega Gallade if he's Scarfed and Adamant, so I have to click U-turn here. I have no choice. Moonblast doesn't kill me if he's Scarfed. He's got to go Victini. That's his only play. Yeah, there's the Victini. And so I have to click U-turn here. If I didn't click U-turn there, then I pretty much lost to Scarf Victini. At this point, I can go into Lando and click Z-Fly and still have a chance. Because if he has Glaciate and he's Scarfed, then, well, fine. Glaciate... If he's special, that means he doesn't have... V-Create. Glaciate, if he's like modest, max special attack, Scarf, has a small chance to kill, better chance after rocks. I have to click Z-Fly. I have to hope he doesn't have Glaciate and isn't modest max special attack, and isn't, well, I mean, I don't have speed investment, but he's gonna hard switch. What are you going into here? Go Hawlucha. Go Hawlucha! Please go Hawlucha! Oh my god. Okay. Psychic Seed's gonna pop. He wants that Earthquake. I'm not gonna click Earthquake. Okay. Hawlucha's gone. That means Victini can't win the game by itself. It's definitely not taking a Supersonic Sky Strike. It's just not. There's just no way. Please don't. Please don't have some crazy investment somehow. You didn't have the berry, the Koba berry, so you're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Landorus. It's a crit too. Kills Hawlucha with Supersonic Sky Strike. Now Victini could come back in. If he's adamant and he's not intimidated, he can kill my Landorus after rocks 50% of the time with V-Create. If he's jolly to speed tie with my whatchamacallit, Tapu Lele comes back in. So that means that I have to believe that he's... This thing is so important to handle Victini. It's so important to handle Victini. Jolteon doesn't outspeed anything right now. Jirachi's super important. Jolteon, Tapu Lele. He's gonna click Psychic, 100%. 100% Psychic. Does that kill Landorus? Like, he's gotta be Scarfed. There's a chance that it kills after rocks. There's a chance Earthquake kills, just straight up. Landorus checks Victini. Do I think he's running Scarf Victini? Because if not, then Gallade's fine. Gallade can handle it. They can't V-Create multiple times. I don't gain a lot by losing Landorus here. I don't. I gain more by going Jolteon. Well then do I? Because then Jirachi has to make a play of either Iron Head or U-turn. And if I Iron Head wrong, that's fine. If I Iron Head wrong, it's fine. So yeah, we go Jolteon, we keep Lando, and Jirachi, I can Iron Head. And if I guess wrong, oh, he's Z. He's Z Lele. What Z move is that? Is that Ghost DMZ? Is that Ghost DMZ? He's gonna kill me with it, but... Is that Dark EMZ? Why do I not remember if this is Dark or Ghost? I think it's Ghost. And I survived that because I'm super bulky. Ghost DMZ, Shadow Ball. Okay. Well, I can click T-Bolt. That's free. It's damage. Damage is damage at this point. On anything. And we could para. We get the para! And you get the full para. If I go for one more... Okay. So the terrain's gone. He could switch out to reset the terrain, but barring that, I do actually have Shadow Sneak to kill. So I can Thunderbolt here, and then my Mega Gallade can come in and click Earthquake for free if he does break through the para. Gets fully paralyzed again. This is crazy. This is wild. This gives me a chance to 100% scout if his Victini is Scarf, which is huge, because I will outspeed any non-Scarf Victini with this Jolteon. Because Victini could theoretically bring this back. So Jolteon kills Tapu Lele with Thunderbolt. Okay, so do we see a Scarf? If we don't see a Scarf, then it doesn't matter. I should have the answers to this, because then Gallade kills it. So he's not Scarfed. He's not Scarfed. Whatever he is, he's not Scarfed. Jolteon decided for us. Flame Charge. Oh, God. How much? Oh, goody. Okay, he's got the Flame Charge. Yo, this is a battle. This is a battle. Okay, so Victini kills Jolteon with Flame Charge. Okay, wow. Sure. How much? Shadow Sneak is doing 32 to 37% to this thing. So I can go, if he's got Glaciate, then he can kill me, but I can Intimidate him, and he can't kill me with V-Create if he's intimidated. Oh my god. If he's intimidated, he doesn't kill my Gallade with V-Create. So if he's got Glaciate, yeah, he could kill me, but he's intimidated. And if he doesn't have Glaciate, then he doesn't kill my Landorus. And we can click Earthquake here. We can click Earthquake here. Glaciate. He's got Glaciate. He lands it. That's obvious. It's a Victini. What is your special attack investment? Because I'm semi-bulky. Okay, not bulky enough for that. So Glaciate. But Victini is intimidated. Kills Landorus T with Glaciate. He's at 30. You know, if I go Gallade here, he's going to outspeed me. But at -1, V-Create doesn't kill if with an Adamant Nature. Like, I don't know what item he is, but it doesn't kill with an Adamant Nature. He's not Life Orb, and Expert Bell doesn't gain anything. But if he's max special attack Modest, and he has Blue Flare, that doesn't kill either. That doesn't kill either. Yeah. So I can Mega, and I can EQ. Neither of these should kill. Neither of these should kill. Shadow Sneak, that's 25, 32. Shadow Sneak's a pretty good roll to kill. I'm going to go with Shadow Sneak, mostly on the grounds that otherwise Jirachi can't do anything if he does find a way to kill me with a crit or something. And if he's not defensively invested, Shadow Sneak mins out at 32%, and he's about 33%. And so we're going to go for the Shadow Sneak. That is going to take out the Victini. No, he's got... No way. He survived, and he's got Weakness Policy. No way. He survived, and he has Weakness Policy. This is... No, I can't take this right now. I cannot handle this right now. It's a speed tie if he's Jolly. It's a speed tie if he's Jolly. We are going in. We are Scarfed Rachi. He is Flame Charged Victini. If he is Adamant or not max, I can't even see the HP. It's underneath the thing. I thought I won. I didn't. He's at 1 HP. We click Iron Head. This is it. This is the game. Whoever wins the speed tie wins the championship in the ICBA Season 4. Honestly, I cannot believe this is happening right now. If he's not max speed, then we get the Iron Head off. We take out the Victini. I have no idea if he was max speed or not. Oh my god. Jirachi kills Victini with Iron Head. And... I can't, guys. I'm done. I'm out. Bye. See you later. Wow. Okay. So, I sat like that for a good 10 minutes. I talked to Austin a bit. We have said our GGs, and honestly, that may be the best video I upload to my channel ever. As far as finals videos goes, I've never seen a more hype finals. I checked with him for some of his sets, so some of the information that you guys can now understand. Gallade min-rolled the Victini. He had no HP investment, so that was the minest of min rolls that the Gallade could have gotten, which allowed for him to survive, get off the weakness policy. He was not max speed, so my Jirachi was guaranteed to outspeed. He had 100 speed investment plus a naive nature, so I was guaranteed to outspeed. Obviously the para hurt. Obviously the flinch helped me handle the Raikou and mattered so much because my Jirachi was still alive in the end game. But first turn crit, to predicting with the Flying EMZ, to the para and Jolteon coming in absolutely clutch, verifying that Victini was not Scarfed, but then dying to a Flame Charge, and then I let the weakness policy go off. I've run Flame Charge weakness policy Victini. I should have potentially seen it coming, but obviously that's not the way the cookie crumbles all the time. Losing both my Finny and my Chandelure early, so therefore not having the checks to the Victini late game, not being able to defog away the rocks, which I was so set, like I can handle these rocks, but Jolteon came in, did what it needed to do. I don't think the paras mattered because of the fact that, depending on his Lele set, which I should have access to right here, his Lele had a little bit of HP investment, but not enough to guarantee that it would survive an EQ. And from the Gallade, so the para didn't matter in that sense, and I was able to get off. And also, he would have killed my Jolteon, so he wouldn't have been able to get the Flame Charge off, so he wouldn't have outsped my Gallade. Therefore, my Gallade would have been able to kill the Victini as well. So there's that side of things, obviously, but that battle was out of this world. I can't believe that we pulled it out. I can't believe that the Victini survived on 1. I can't believe, like, that battle was amazing. And Austin, Garchomp the God, if you're watching and you've made it this far, thank you so much for throwing the PCL and allowing me to join. We've become very good friends through these leagues, and I am very honored to have the chance to play you in the finals. Your first finals appearance, my second finals appearance. So the next time you appear in the finals will be your chance to break through. Hopefully it won't be against me that time. But oh my god, we've done it. The New York Empoleon are the ICBA Season 4 champions. We've managed to overcome a Week 1 loss, as is the New York Empoleon standard, to make an incredible run late season, to win the division, to make it through Matt, who's an amazing battler with an amazing track record, Aaron, who deserved to be the 1 seed, and then Austin, Garchomp the God, who took down Josh, Ultra Player, who had the best record in the regular season in the semifinals, so he definitely deserved to be there, and his team was absolutely horrifying. That will do it for the ICBA Season 4. I do want to give some shout outs here at the end of this video to some of the people who have been instrumental in helping me this far. The first person, and arguably the most important person, is Amanda, who has been supportive and absolutely encouraging and understanding of the fact that I'm doing this, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you so much to Amanda for just helping me out, just supporting me, encouraging me to be better than I already think I am, and I don't think I'm very good, so I think I'm okay, let's be honest. I think I'm pretty good, but I'm not like the best battler, but she says that I am, and she makes sure that I feel like I can win any matchup no matter what, which is absolutely amazing, and really gives me the strength to push through any matchup. Following that is my front office. These guys deserve absolute shout outs. I shouted them out in the GBA. It's pretty much the same people. I haven't really changed, and I haven't really needed to. Since the GBA, we've had a 7-4 season in the GBA in regular season. We had an 8-4 season in the ICBA, in the IBL, a 7-3 season in the ICBA, and a championship to show for it. So these guys have absolutely been amazing, and they've been, I mean, what is that? 22 and 10? 11? 22 and 11. So win percentage of almost 70%. in those 3 leagues since I really got a front office. And arguably, you could say it's better than that because I didn't pick them up till week 3 of the GBA. And so those first 2 weeks were losses on my own, and then I picked them up. So 22-9. So absolutely amazing. These guys have been amazing. And so I just want to give shout outs to them who've been the most helpful. Obviously, Playmaker has been amazing since day one, and I still believe that he is possibly the best player in league format. If only he had time to record. Darn you, Med School, for not allowing him to record and get onto bigger leagues, because he is amazing as a player. And I'm super excited to face him in the TBL, which is coming up pretty soon. I really want to shout out Manbird. I don't actually know what username you're going by anymore, but Manbird has been absolutely wonderful. He has been probably the most active in my front office. He's been offering me mocks almost every week. He's been helping me with sets. He listens to all of my crazy tech, like when I said I should run red card Jolteon for this finals. He was like, let's try it. We tried it. It was actually not terribly unsuccessful and would have potentially been my switch into the Raikou if I didn't have the sash on it. So red card could have come in handy there, but either way, Playmaker, who told me to run agility pass, and I didn't end up using it, but that's okay. And then Manbird, who hears out all my crazy sets and lets me go crazy with like weak armor, Mandibuzz things, stuff like that. So that's absolutely wonderful, and I really appreciate those two. Huge, and completely, like, it's not, I can't say huge enough times. I can't say thank you enough times to Eric, Heavy Metal Pokemon / Neon Zero / I don't know, you're rebranding, you're in the middle of the rebrand, so Eric, thank you so much. You've genned every team for me for every single matchup since I met you. You are the reason that I was in the GBA. You are the reason that I was in the UBLN. Well, T-Shen, who I also want to shout out in a second, it was also the reason I was in the UBLN. Between the two of you, has really kickstarted my career on the internet, has allowed me to give you guys better content, and more of you have seen me since then. So shout out to Eric, and also he gens every single team for me every week. So week in and week out, he has been absolutely wonderful and reliable, and he's also a very active member of my front office. Some less active members who are still incredibly helpful. T-Shen, who mocked with me for these finals and has mocked with me before many times. Thank you so much to you as well, and also again, T-Shen, for putting me in the UBLN and getting me out into leagues beyond the TBL when I first started. Hef, thank you so much for all the work that you do. I know you've been a little bit less active recently, but thank you again for all the work that you do. Johnny, shout outs to you. You're not in my front office, obviously, but you ran the ICBA, so I know this league had a bit of a rough ending, and I'm not 100% sure if I'll be returning next season, but thank you so much to Johnny for running the league, putting it together, getting these coaches together, at least for however long he possibly could. I think he did a pretty good job for the resources that he had. 16-team leagues are hard, but we got to the end. We made it. Austin, obviously, thank you so much for all that you've done for my channel and for me, being my friend, generally helping me out. You know more about this community than I do. So just thank you so much to Austin as well. And great battle. Obviously, this finals battle was out of this world. And other than that, I think there's a bunch of people I would love to shout out, but if I didn't get to your name, I apologize. I do mean to say thank you to everybody, and I want to post an update video for 2019, but I'm trying to finish out this league first, so check that in the next, it might actually come out before this video gets posted, but either way, thank you all so much for watching. The ICBA is over, which means we only have the PCL for now, but the TBL is coming, and I will actually be live streaming almost every one of my battles for that, if possible, over on my Twitch channel. So twitch.tv/GoldoDragon, link is in the description below. Check that out, drop a follow there. I'll be live streaming my TBL battles there, and then I'll be uploading them to YouTube afterwards as well. But if you want to see them early, go check them out on Twitch. And then other than that, I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys have had a wonderful ride in the ICBA. It has been a topsy-turvy season, but we took down everyone we needed to, and when the time came, the New York Empoleon get to say, I burped right in the middle of that like last line, great. We are the ICBA Season 4 champion. New York Empoleon are no longer championless. Thank you all for watching. Take care, everybody.